And okay, all right. Welcome. Today we are here with Sherry Lebed Davis, and she is the creator, inspiration, and just everything about Healthy Steps. And as you know, probably for some of you know that I've been a Healthy Steps instructor since 2006. Difficult to believe. And it's very much a vital part of my life. And I'm continuing to do this even after I have, retired from public school teaching. So anyway, with further ado, I want to introduce you to Sherry Lebed Davis and have her talk a little bit about how this all got started. So take it away, Sherry.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. You're an amazing instructor, and I just loved and enjoyed every moment of teaching you and what you're doing with the program. So in the 80s, my mom had a breast cancer, and I had a couple of dance studios at the time, and she fell into a really bad depression. She had loss of range of motion, and she was just very, very sad. And she also loved to dance. So I had two brothers who were on staff at Albert Einstein Medical Center. And we put together a program, a dance movement program that we felt was medically going to help my mom emotionally and physically.
Mhm.
So it began there, and it was so successful with my mother that the head of the breast cancer surgery at Albert Einstein decided that every woman that had surgery was going to go through the program.
Wow.
And so that happened, and Jane Molinaro, a physical therapist, and myself published our first paper in the Physical Therapy Journal on the program, on the progress, and what it meant to the women. And then in the end of the 90s, I developed breast cancer.
Mm.
This was so crazy because I called my brother, Dr. Marc Lebed, and I said, I have loss of range of motion and I'm so sad. And he goes, what are you doing? And it was like, I should have had a V8. Oh, yeah. So I took it out and I started to do it, and I saw how much it helped me. And since that time, I had sold my dance studios, decided to teach it at the hospitals. And at one of the hospitals, it was still just me, and one of the hospitals I think I was in Seattle at the time, had the Associated Press come and do an article in the hospital of what was then the Lebed method. And Associated Press, it went national. My son had called me the next day and told me that I was on the cover of the LA Times. And
Whoa.
It went crazy. It just went crazy. And it was still just me. And then People Magazine called me in 2000 to do an article on the program. And so I did.
Wow.
And once that happened, I started getting these emails and phone calls from people. Well, how do I become a teacher? What do I do?
Right.
And so that was the birth of the training for other instructors of this program. And then 3 years after my surgery, I developed lymphedema.
Oh,
and so that's when my brothers and I got together again. And we developed a special program to help reduce the swelling of lymphedema.
Could you just,
or to get the lymphatic system moving.
Could you just, in a little nutshell, just give us like the 2-minute what lymphedema is and how
Yeah.
it can be?
The way I explain it to most people is that your heart has a pump, and so the blood is always circulating, but your lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, and yet the lymphatic system is where all the bacteria and illness go.
Mhm.
If you don't get your lymphatic system moving, it becomes dormant and causes other problems. For instance, the backup of the lymphatic system, loss of energy. And so the program, what it does is it gets it started moving and it continues all day. So once you get it started in the way that we had developed it, it continues. And so we started doing it every day. The people that were in the class that needed that work, every morning, they started their day with a lymphatic opening, and it changed their lives. It decreased swelling, it improved health, it increased energy. It was amazing. And fortunately, as my brothers had explained to me, in medical school, they don't learn about the lymphatic system. And yet, it's such a vital, important piece of our wellness.
Yeah, for everybody, not just people that are dealing with cancer, because that's that whole
Right.
boost our immune system, especially now with dealing with all the different, things that we've got going. It's, even vital for people that are not, compromised.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And so it's done very little changing since it was developed because it works. Break something when it's not broken. Why fix something when it's not broken?
Right.
So it's kind of remained the same, and it's been successfully used in, well, hospitals all over the United States and in Europe and outside the United States. So, unfortunately, the virus that we're experiencing now has limited people to come to the classes, so they're doing it virtually. It is so important. I can't even begin to stress how important it is to everyone, to their immune system. And that's why the program went not just for cancer, fibromyalgia, MS, Parkinson's, just wellness.
Yeah.
It just blew up and blossomed because of the beginning of it and how it's put together.
Yes, well, that was we just got off a conference call together with teachers from England and, all over that are still, vital and, doing this program all over. So just another thing and stuff with it, I know that you were able to actually document the effectiveness, and sometimes that's really tricky. Research is always, kind of slippery. So how are you able to do that with Dr. Mark and I believe it was Dr. Mark, and can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, as far as I know, right now, there's about 12 medical studies, one PT journal and the rest in the nurses journal. And they were all measured medically by medical people. So they were all done from A to Z through the medical system, as they never would have gotten published.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, there's about at least a dozen published papers on how effective this program is.
Right, and it just continues. I know just on an anecdotal basis, I have, people that have just joined a year ago and they go, you know what, I can now do things like I can go hike a little bit. I can get, getting dressed is so much easier. I mean, they're just giving me, I have more energy. And some of them are people that have had, some serious health stuff, but some of them are just, kind of run of the mill, aging or just very mild things. So, so that's really been, incredible.
Yeah. And so, we contracted with the MS Society, we had contracted with the Parkinson's. And then my brothers developed a program for maternity for children.
That's right.
We have a swimming program. It just turned out to be for everyone. And then we developed a program for seniors.
Yeah, I
And
forget that. I forget how many, I'm mostly in the cancer center and community, but I forget there's, the maternity, the children's, I forget all those other programs.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's so effective. And
Mhm.
even though you're only working with cancer or you're working with seniors, it was so effective, and all these studies proved it, that it's done by so many different populations.
Mhm.
It isn't like any other form of exercise.
Mhm. Right.
As we were talking, people will say, oh, it's just like this program, or it's just
Right.
that no, it's
No.
not.
No,
It's
and I think one of the key things that I see is the social connection, and even online, I know my group is pretty connected. And one thing that I did when I trained with you, which was so much fun, was we do the dance and we do props and the bubbles. And there's just this connection that you get that is also really documented on how healthy that is, our social connection, our need as humans. So that's one piece. And it's, when I say it's dancing, people go, whoa. And I said, well, no, it's dancing, easy dancing. We're not going to be tangoing or,
no,
not,
no.
hip hopping.
Yeah, and that's why, through the years, the program changed names. Now it is Healthy Steps, because we didn't want people to think, oh, this is a dance program or this is an exercise program. It's not. It is a dance and exercise program, but it's of the most mild form that you could possibly get,
Mhm.
yet be so effective
Mhm.
as health-wise.
Well, and I think it meets people where they're at. And so that's really important. People have these barriers of, I can't do this, I can't do this anymore, or it's scary, the gyms, those things, a little bit,
Right.
off-putting. So I think it's really, kind of rolls out this red carpet, so to speak. So tell me a little bit more about like how Healthy Steps is now for you in your life. I mean, this has been this has been a journey of years now. I mean, yeah.
So, gosh, I can't even remember the years now, but there was a certain point I started working a lot with seniors and contracting with a lot of the large companies out there. And one of the companies offered me a vice president of sales and marketing for the senior living, doing completely different. And so Bonnie Vermillion, who was a trainer with me, decided she wanted to continue the program. And I wouldn't have left if somebody wasn't there to carry it on. And Dr. Mark was so excited because it can't die. So I went in a different direction, but the program kept going.
Mhm.
And I have since retired, and my love for the program has never faded.
Mhm.
I teach it now. And I just love every moment of it. And I love how better the women feel that are in this class.
Mhm.
Is actually doing for them, not only physically, but psychologically. And especially today with what's going on with the virus, everyone is down a little.
And isolated too. Yeah.
Yeah, not so much when they're in the class, whether it's virtual or in person.
Mhm.
You definitely feel the contact and the love and the support,
Mhm.
fun and the laughter. I mean, when is the last time that you've actually gone to a class and laughed? It's fun. Not only good for you, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And it's just so important. So that's where I am now. I've started back again in a small way. And I'm just glad that it keeps on going and that the teachers are remaining on board, and Bonnie's doing an excellent job with it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's just a very creative program. So those instructors can be as creative as they want, as long as they stay within the walls of the physical and emotional
Mhm.
structure.
Right. I think that's really important to illustrate that there is some safety around what's safe. There's, using a chair, is one of the criteria, and things that are kind of not doing repetitive, strenuous, no jumping around. It's very, non-impactful. And I think those safety things are really, I know when I'm teaching the class, as long as I'm within the guidelines, I know that I'm doing safe stuff. And also, one thing of like, do what you can. If it hurts, you don't do it, and
Right.
pace yourself. And so often, that's, we're not told that we get to be in charge of our bodies and pace ourselves. We're always trying to, so I think that's a really key point and stuff of the program.
And that you can do it sitting or standing.
Right. Yeah.
That's another key thing. Like today, I had a woman come in who was new, and she goes, "Oh, I don't think I can do this." I said, "Then let's do it seated." So
Right.
some sit and some stand, and everything you do is fine.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it's all going to the same place, wellness.
Right. And that's such a wonderful place of everything you do is going to be good. It's fine. You're
Yeah.
not, you're not at this deficit. Because I think so often we feel that and stuff, that it's like we're not meeting the criteria, especially if you're having bumps in your life. And we're all, regardless of what's going on, we're all having some bumps in our life right now. Well, Sherry, it really speaks to, this is something that you've created and you've nurtured and you've grown and you've loved. And now as you retire, it's something you choose to do. And I think that's really telling. I think that's really kind of like the seal. It's like what we choose to do that we don't have to do,
Right.
is really the gold seal. So anyway, is there anything else that you want to add?
I just think that anybody who would join your classes would really benefit. You're very special.
Oh,
You're
by the way, I did not pay her to say any of this.
you're very special. Not only you know the program so well, you're always safety minded with your attendees, and you love it. Love it. And you, from the very beginning, you were very special. And
Oh,
anybody who joins your class is going to realize that.
Well, you are very special too, Sherry, and my life really did come. I mean, after I did my training in 2006, that was one of the things I really wanted to do. And I was anxious to have more time in my life to do this. So now, I share that, this is something I choose to do, like you do. So anyway, well, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And
Thank you.
I know we'll be in touch and keeping together. And thank you so much for doing this interview with me today and helping me spread the good word about health and how important it is. So,
Yep, absolutely.
okay, well, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone who's watching it. Sign up for class.
Yes, come and join the fun. Woo!
You bet.
Okay, great.